Hello friends, um, welcome back to the video series, and today we are going to look into the one of the bugs that were reported. And we'll go through the bug. The bug says we they want to see the home and about page. I would only I should only see the home and about page and links in the navigation bar if I am logged out. I should see all the icons and links after I log in. So at the current moment, I'm logged in into the system, and I can see the navigation bar and I can see the about page over here. About page is the one which has my information as well as the application information. And if I sign out, I do see a feature page. I do not see the navigation bar before. So I think this bug was reported when the navigation bar was visible on the logout page as well. But now, given the change that we have done, we would want to adapt to it. We would, instead of having the home page and the navigation bar visible on the left side, how about we have a about page over here, about StingyHubby, and then within that, once you click on it, you would be able to go to the about page that we see once you log in. Because about page does not have any user specific data to it, I think we would be able to we would be able to have it displayed even if the user is logged out. So what I would do here is I would try to say, okay, I want a link I would ask ChatGPT what to do about it. If the user is logged out, I want to see a link about StingyHubby, link on the top right corner of the image application image section. On clicking the link, I should see the same page that is visible same about page about page that is visible after logging in on navigation bar after logging in. Okay, so I think I missed a comma next to the bar. So let's see what ChatGPT thinks about it. So ChatGPT here mentions about using use session from Superbase Auth React. So this is more authentication helper to check if the user is logged in. At the top right about link. So number 2 would be at the top right about link. Render the link component for use navigation. If using React route, positioned on the top right of the banner image area, and routing to the existing app is just existing about page. So assuming you already have the route like /about, the unauthenticated user can be navigated to that page the same way as the authenticated user. Yeah, that does make sense. And then example is the home page tsx. So right now when we look into the application, let me get the application running. Now this is our application. Let's maximize this and we go into the, so it has a homepage.tsx. So let's go to the homepage.tsx and pages homepage.tsx, and within this we have this page where we have the login section as well as the feature section going on. So it mentions within that it has the, it is telling us to make a change here and landing page component, make the following change, rest of your content is there, and then we export the home page. We are not using next.js, we are using react.js, so we wouldn't be doing that. So the next thing what we can do right now is we can give the whole page to ChatGPT and we can tell him to create or update this page, and then we can, yeah. So now, yeah, ChatGPT is going to update the home page and it is going to, the key changes that it mentions here is it's adding a link to about, conditionally shown only if the user is logged in, positioned in the top right corner, relevant to the banner. So let me see what we are seeing. We are seeing sign out here, we are seeing sync db here, and then we have session. If the session is there, then we have a sidebar. Otherwise we should have the top right about link over here. Yeah, that's the link we are seeing, /about, and then we have the image, and then we have all the features listed here. So yeah, we can use this one. Let's see what changes. It's very difficult to see those changes in the on the browser. So let's look at it in using the comparison tool that we have for our Visual Studio Code. Now within this we are using React Router DOM and giving a link. Okay, that sounds good. And then we have the next thing, looks like it has removed the banner. It has made this, it has not done much, just put a link on the top. The position is absolute and it has put a styling component to it, and it has, let me see, I think it has removed the banner system within this. This is changes something that I'm not comfortable with looking at the moment. I do see a lot of errors here. So okay, let's go back to the drawing board. I do see the feature list over here, but I don't see the feature list over here. So let me get the feature list again. Let's remove this and then let's do Control A. Now okay, now the feature list is here. Now let's compare that. We have the link and everything else looks good. Now we have a position relative here, and over here we have about link, which is /about, and the position is absolute, and these are like styling information about it. And then after we get the styling, it has a title called as about StingyHubby, and that's a link that has been added on the top. So now I want to think about the session handling that we'll do. I think we would be able to do it once we go onto the page and test the page. So let's see, add it about StingyHubby link on homepage. Yeah, so looks like the home page we were able to commit to that. Let's commit to it. I think it's not a big change, it's more about a change into the in adding that link. So let's go to the deployment. We are on the deployment now. 25 seconds. Refresh. Usually the deployment shouldn't take a long time, but I think something is stuck. Oh yeah, 28, it is done now. So let's go back to the application. Now on the page you don't see anything. We haven't refreshed the page. So we don't see a link on the top right, and the page looks normal. Now when I refresh it, now I see a about StingyHubby. It's more of a highlighted button rather than a link, which does the job. When we hover over it, we get the link finger, like it's like clicking on the link, like that. Change in the cursor is it looks good. I like it, and it looks acceptable. And then we have the about StingyHubby page. So right now one thing to observe is that we haven't logged in, and that is why we have the sign in page and all the things. So let me click on the about StingyHubby. So when I click on the about StingyHubby about page, I do not see anything. This is a thing that we need to ask ChatGPT about it. So let's see. After clicking on I should see information from I should see all information from about page, like I see after I log in. Okay, so yeah, ChatGPT acknowledges the clarification, protected route or layout dependency. So what ChatGPT mentions, the about page might only be visible inside a post login layout like sidebar layout, which is only rendered when the user is logged in. That is correct. We understand that. We need to make this about page public. So we need to update the about page to not depend on user login, render standalone content if no session exists. So this is the about page.tsx that ChatGPT is talking about. If the user is logged in, the page uses sidebar layout as like normal. If the user is not logged in, the page is shown in a simple public friendly container. I agree with that. And then it's asking for other things. So let me go to the code. This makes sense. Let's go to the about page. This is the about page that we have, sources.pages.about page, and let me control A, control C, and I would tell ChatGPT, I would paste it, and they say update this page. So we have the existing about page that we have logged in. That one we can update it, and we would be able to then do as the suggestions that ChatGPT has mentioned. So here it's going to make the page render the same rich content regardless of login state, and it's going to wrap with sidebar layout only if user is logged in, and maintain a clean layout for logged out users. So I'm going to copy this. It's not filled in yet, so let's wait for it to completely fill in. Yeah, so we are going to copy this. The whole page has been rendered. Let's copy this and let's take it to the application, and here we can paste it on. So let's see. So this has updated our page. Let's go to the updated page, and here we have seen it's using sessions. So yeah, this is from the auth helpers react. It's using the session, it's using the sidebar layout which initially wasn't there, and then about in the content there's some styling changes done, and then there's a developer section added, that would be the resume and stuff. And later on there is this use session. If the session exists, then we use the sidebar layout, and then we return the just the about content that we have created on top. Sidebar layout, within the sidebar layout we have the about content, but otherwise we'll just have the about content mentioned here, and the about content is the whole thing that was mentioned on the top. So this is the about content that was created, the object that was created out of it. So this looks satisfactory. Let's see. Updated about page. Let's commit this and sync. Now we can go to the deployment, confirm that the deployment is done. Okay, 27 seconds. So now let me refresh. Actually, let me go back. Yeah, this is the logged out about page. Let me click on it. I'm still not able to see anything, so let's see if I can sign in and then I can see something. So here I sign in. I don't see the about link on the top, but I do see the about page here, and then I see a content over here. But and oh, and I'm seeing one more bug here, that I'm seeing two sidebars. I don't want to see that when I'm going on the about page. Let's see when I go to the about page. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. So I see two bugs. One bug is that when I log out, I do not see anything, and when I log in and view the page, I see one more extra sidebar. So let's mention I see two bugs. I do not see anything on the page, about page. Number two, when I am logged in, I see an extra sidebar. So on left side here. Okay, let's send it across. Let's see what ChatGPT can think about it at that point. Oh, so ChatGPT mentions that when a user is logged out, use session initially returns undefined, not null, and takes a moment to resolve. So your code renders nothing while it waits for session status. Fix is add a loading check using use effect and use state to gate rendering until the session is resolved. And logged in double sidebar appears. You may already be inside a sidebar layout like the app.tsx or a parent route layout and wrapping in the sidebar layout within the about page. Only wrap the sidebar layout if not already in one. Since there's hard to detect without context, the safest approach is let routing decide layout, wrap sidebar layout around the route if needed, or remove sidebar layout from the page itself and only use an app.tsx layout for additional routes. Okay, so now we have the updated about page.tsx. So I've copied it. Let me take it across to the about page, and then we'll see the differences. Now in the difference here, we are using use effect use state, and here we don't have the developer section, anything, and then has loaded use state, yeah, and then we are going to use the sidebar layout, and we are going to say sidebar layout should be the sidebar with about content. It's going to give us the about content and sidebar layout. So before I can say okay to it, I have some doubts about it. Rest of your content stays unchanged. Okay, so what ChatGPT has done here is ChatGPT has basically shorthanded the explanation or this one. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this, Control A, and then say here update this code, and then we are going to, so it's going to create an updated code over here. So the changes made are fixed layout flicker by using Superbase is loading state directly, removed set time workaround, unnecessary with better session detection, used a centered fallback spinner or message when session is loading, and ensure layout is clean and consistent whether logged in or out. So this is mostly the code within it, and make sure you're using context provider if you're in your root layout. If you're using Superbase React, the version uses use context instead of use session context. Okay, is loading, and then let me see. Let's copy this. I think this has a lot of information, and it is trying to tell us that because it is using use session context instead of use session, it has to talk about session context provider within the auth helpers React library, or using the Superbase auth helpers React. So let me paste the change right now. This is the change, and this is the page.tx, and as you can see, it's using the use session context instead of use session. And then below, this is the whole developer content. So what I would do is I would copy the section. So whatever section I have copied from here till here after the P, copy, and this whole section div. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So this is going to be the developer section. So this updates our page. So we are using the use context. We have nothing changed here, and then we go all the way down where we have the use session, and then using your use session context, we are either setting is loading or session object, and if is loading, then we are going to return loading icon. So that would be that circular component that we see, and then if the session exists, that means if we have the session, then it will use the sidebar layout and it is going to show the about content. If it does not have a session, that means we are logged out, then it will only show the about content. So I think this change should work, so let's try it out. Updated about page with user session context. Let's try this one out. So yeah, we are able to commit this. Let's go to the deployment. Within 27 seconds, we should be able to refresh. "31 seconds, okay. Now we can go back to the StingyHubby page. Let's refresh this page and let's look at the about. We have logged in, logged out. So we can go to the about StingyHubby. I still don't see anything on that page. So I'll come back out of it. Let me sign in. Let me go to gapisgod@gmail.com and let me click on the about page. I do see two about StingyHubby status bars. Let's see what I think. I think this one still continues to happen. So the two bugs still occurring. Let's try it out. We have mentioned that the two bugs are still occurring. Okay. The logged out case renders blank temporary. If you are wrapping the app or parent routes with sidebar layout and about page rotates also adds its own, you get a duplicate sidebar. Final fix plan: use session context and check for is loading. Only use sidebar layout if it's not already applied via routing. Never add layout logic directly inside page unless needed. So this one is the one that I copied. Optional recommended cleanup in routing layout. So this is something that's talking about if you are using React Router or a layout wrapper, don't wrap sidebar layout in this page. Instead in your router config. So it's going to tell us to change something in the router config and wrap only. So let's try this one out. And does it have the include the rest of your content here? Yeah. So let's see if this helps us out. Let's close this. Let's Control A, Control V, and let's compare them and then include the rest. So let me copy everything from here. Okay, so here on the top no changes, but at the bottom still loading session state, and then we have is loading, and over here some styling changes, and then render page normally, layout handled by router and So about page, so before it was the sidebar layout, but now it's just the normal content, about content over here. So yeah, I don't need to update now. Let me commit this. Let's see. Page changes is loading, and let's commit and sync. And then we would see the deployment, confirm that the deployment is done. Oh, we are seeing an error message. Let's confirm what is the error message. Oh, there is an error message over here. So yeah, we do see those error messages here. Let's try to clear them out. Sidebar layout is declared but never used. So we would quick fix here and remove the import, or fix with Copilot. So Copilot will remove it most probably, I think so. Yeah, accept. So that removes that error message. Then sidebar width is declared but never used. So let's do the quick fix and fix with Copilot and remove that, accept. Okay. And then there is one more, and that would be the session object. That one again we quick fix. It might remove the session object because it's declared but never used. So let's use that, and then it might remove the session object. So we accept that one also. Now we would set fixed warnings. These were not errors, code errors, these were warnings. So let's commit this, committed, and now we can go back to the deployments. '24. Okay, now we can refresh it. So let's go back to the home page, refresh this page, sign out, and let's click on about StingyHubby. I still don't see anything here. Okay, now let me sign in and go to my account, and now go to the about page. Now I don't see the extra sidebar over here on the about page, but on sign out I don't see any information. So that is maybe because if you look at the code, we have the about content here, but there's no session information here, right? Is loading or anything about that, that is forcing us to wait for it. So let's try and see if we can wait for the session information to load. Let's click on it and wait for it, and nothing happens. So now we can go back to GPT and tell it bug related to sidebar is solved. However, blank about page on logged out user, for logged out user, is still present. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks about it. Since the sidebar is now let's focus on the blank about page for logged out users. Blank about page when logged out user. Root cause is you are using use session context, yes, from the React, but if content provider is missing in your app root, then is loading is always true or session is always undefined. This causes the about page to get stuck in the loading stage and render nothing. That does look like the symptoms. That is correct. What ChatGPT is talking about. Ensure you are wrapping the app in session context provider is in your main.tsx. So let's look at the main.tsx. If it's pointing us over there, we should have the main.tsx. Let's close the components. Let's close the pages. Main.tsx, we have that, or app.tsx. We have both app.tsx and main.tsx. So let's see. So see, if we are using NetJob, we are using white React, so it should be an app.tsx. You must wrap your app like this, and if you are using but you use session context, but you don't wrap in use session context provider, you will get exactly the blank page behavior you're seeing. That is correct. Okay, to confirm this, add a console.log in about page.tsx session and is loading, and we'll get to know the sessions and what is the current values of those is loading, and is if it's true or undefined. Temporary fallback fix, we want a permanent one. So let me, it has mentioned here the temporary fallback fix, but I would not approach it at the moment. Best is to use the session context provider. So as it mentioned, my code is within the, let me see, this is the, my code is within the app.context. So let's go to the app.context, app.tsx, sorry, and let me copy this. I'll tell ChatGPT update this file as mentioned. Okay, so this we have given the code, and ChatGPT now can think about how they can update it. Move route about element outside the authenticated sidebar layout block. Keep app about only for logged in users with the sidebar layout if you want both versions. Ensure logged out users can access about. Okay, so it has done some change here. Summary, about page is everyone is visible to everyone, and the layout is none, and the app/about is visible to logged in users and inside sidebar layout. And then okay, let's see, there is also one more text here talking about you can remove about app if you don't want duplicate routes. Let me know if you want to redirect logged out users to app.about to about, or vice versa. That is something I don't want to do right now. Let's see what changes that makes into our application. So Control A, that has updated this. Let's look at the changes. App.tsx. So now the comment is gone, it's okay, line is gone, is okay. Over here we have public routes, and here they have ChatGPT code change has added about/about, which is the about page, and then about public about page. That is true, that's what we want. And then here the rest of them are the ones associated with the authentication on authenticated routes, which is after the user has logged in, and that those ones are going to be, let me see, the route index element is finance form, so /app is there. This one is an added one. Let's see. And then we have, this is the about page it's talking about, that is going to be within the app about, and that is going to be present there, still available inside sidebar if needed. Now there is a change, this change of index element finance form, I let it be there. See, there is the index element finance form, it is there, so it's just been shifted from line 35 to line 29. That is okay. And the rest of them, there are the history as well as the feedback. These two forms or pages are have some changes to it. Instead of just app, they are just being put as feedback and history. So I'm okay with this change, but when I do my testing, I will try to see what effects they have on the UI, or if they are working as what they were working before, then I wouldn't have any problem with it. So updated app.tsx. The commit message might look a little bit rudimentary, but I think right now I wouldn't want to make those changes. Ideally speaking, you would want to create a story, and then within the story you would create a task, and then whenever you commit, you would mention the story name and you would mention the code changes you've made. And at that point of time, if later on if you are going to investigate or you're going to find the root cause, at that point you would go back and you'll try to check the commit, and then try to find the associated story associated with that, and then understand more about what was being done in that code. So the update is done. Now let's look at the StingyHubby page, about page. So let's refresh this so that the changes are present on the browser. And now let's click on the about StingyHubby. When I click on the about StingyHubby, yeah, now I'm able to see there is no sidebar on the left side. I'm able to see the content of this about page, the StingyHubby, as well as the information about me. And then I can come out of it. Let me sign in with Google, and then let's go to the about page on the sidebar. When I click on the about page on sidebar, I see the same page. That's good. That's what we wanted for this feature. But along with that, we saw that certain changes happen on feedback as well as history page. So let me click on it. I can see the feedback page without any problem. And let's go to the history page, financial history page, and I see the history as well with the graph. So okay, so I think this behavior looks good. Overall, we were able to add the bug request that was, or bug reporting that was done. We were able to make it happen on the UI. So now when we are logged out, we should see a about StingyHubby page, and then I think we have later on feature request, or feedback or feature or bug request that talks about having the YouTube channel link in the about page. Yeah, we have that one. So for now, we can successfully go and delete this bug. It's a bug, so we can go and delete this bug from our to-do list, and we can mark this as done. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for going through all the changes and all the back and forth with ChatGPT. This is how we would be able to achieve what we want. The turnaround time as compared to another developer is very low, is very quick and very small. You can talk to ChatGPT can come up with a solution, you can implement that, and then have it visible. Then you can test it, and if you like it, you accept it, it stays in the system. But if you don't accept it, then you can ask ChatGPT to make changes again, or to come up with better solution to it. So the stakeholder and developer turnaround time reduces significantly when we do this process. Thank you so much for your time, people, and don't forget to visit the website, put in your feedback, as well as other areas that you feel that our application can improve. And then, like always, every day we are improving our application, as you can see in the YouTube channel in all our videos. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.